In this episode we are going to learn how to handle keyboard input events in Arcade. So the end result, what we are going to create, is just this circle which we will be able to move using the right, left, up and down arrow keys. And it also moves diagonally if I press down two buttons. So I have already prepared this scene and I have added to the game view two properties, the circle's X position and the circle's Y position. So 640 and 360. And in the onDraw method I'm just drawing two circles. One is a draw ellipse field, so this is the field, and one with the draw ellipse outline. Both of these circles are in the circle X and circle Y position. Both of these circles are 80 by 80, so the width and height. And the first circle is this color AO and the second circle is color yellow, so this is the outline circle and it has a border width of 2 pixels. Let me run it. So now this is the circle what we are going to move in this video using the keyboard inputs. To get keyboard presses in Arcade, we have to override one function, which is the on-key press. And also, for the key releases, we have to override a second function, which is the on-key release. So let's do the first, which is the on-key press. So this is the on_key_press method. And this takes a symbol, which is an integer, and the modifiers, which is also an integer. And this should return none. So I'm just going to delete this bool. And I'm also going to create one more method or override one more method, which is the on-key release. Okay, so this is the on_key_release. It also takes the symbol, modifiers, and it returns none. And I don't know why they have added this boolean. I mean, it will never return a boolean, it just always returns none. And one more thing which I'm going to change. From the source code, it automatically adds this underscore symbol and underscore modifiers, but to be consistent with this one, I'm just going to delete these underscore parts. So just symbol and modifiers without the underscores. Okay, so first what we are going to do is just add the key press event. So every time I'm going to press the left arrow key here. So if symbol equals arcade.key.left, I'm just going to decrease the circle's X by -10, so minus equals 10. So let me run it. And now if I press the left arrow, it just moves the circle to the left and it moves it incrementally. So if I press it and hold it down, it moves only once. It doesn't matter that I'm holding down the key. And later in this video we are going to add to it a continuous movement. Okay, let's do this also for the right key and up key and also for the down key. So if the symbol is arcade key right, we are just going to increase the circle X by 10. So circle X plus equals 10. And let's do these also for the up and the down keys. So I have added the up key. So if symbol equals arcade key up, we are going to increment the circle's Y, and if it is arcade key down, we are going to decrement the circle's Y. So now we can move our circle in all directions. So left, right, up and down. And as you can hear, I have to press multiple times the keys to actually move it. Now let's make this a little bit better, just by adding to it continuous movement. Of course, in some games, this incremental movement is a desired behavior, for example, in a Tetris game. But in this example, I want to add continuous movement. So for this, I'm just going to create one more property here, or two more properties. One will be the circle speed. So circle speed equals 500. And I'm just going to create a dictionary of directions. So self.directions equals this. So left false, right false, up false, and down false. And we are going just to switch between these. So if I press the left key, it will set this left to true. And if I release the left key, it will set back this left to false. So let's do this. So now instead of moving here the circles, I'm just going to set here the directions, delete this one, and set the directions at key left to true. And the same applies to the right. So if the right key is pressed, the directions at right will be equal to true. And let's do this for the up. Directions up will be equal to true. And if the key down is pressed, then the directions down will be equal to true. But now we have to also set back them to false if we release the key. So I'm just going to copy and paste this one, and here in the on key release, just going to paste everything and set these trues to false. So every time when we press the left key, this on key press will be automatically called by the arcade event loop, and these directions at left key will be set to true. And if we release the left key, this on key release method will be called automatically, and this if condition will be evaluated and the directions at left will be set back to false. Okay, and now let's add the movement here in the onUpdate method. So, and here in the onUpdate method, we are just going to also check if the cell the directions left is true. We are going to set the circles x to minus equals circle speed times the delta time. And if you multiply it by the delta time, it will create a frame rate independent movement. So that's why it's useful. Okay, let's do this also for the right. So if cell the direction right is true, the cell that circle x we are going to add, so plus equals the circle speed times the delta time. And also let's do it for the up and the down keys. So if cell that directions up is true, cell that circle y will be plus equal to circle speed times delta time, and if directions down is true, then we are going to subtract from circle y, so minus equals circle speed times the delta time. And now we will have a continuous movement. So let me move it to the left. So I'm just going to press and hold the left key, and as you can see it moves continuously. And also to right, up, down, and also if I press the right and the up key, it will move diagonally to northeast, and this applies to all directions. So left, for example, left and down will move southwest. To make it a little bit more interesting, let's also add text here in the onDraw, and I'm just going to use the arcade.draw text function and draw the circle's x position with 2 float precision, also the circle's y position, and in the x, y 10 and 700 arcade white color and font size 20. And don't forget, draw text is slow, so use this function only for testing. And now let's run it, and it will show the x and y position of the circle in the upper left corner. And just at the end of this video, I'm just going to add one more to this on key press event. If you want to use modifiers, for example Ctrl, Alt or Shift, that's why this parameter is here. So let me add 2 examples. So for example, if you want to create a keyboard combination of Shift C, in that case you can do it like this. So if modifiers, so if we are pressing a modifier key, so as I said, Ctrl, Alt or Shift, and this is a binary AND operator, so AND arcade key mod shift, and the symbol arcade key C is pressed, so this is a keyboard combination of Shift C. So let me run it. If I press the Shift, nothing happens. If I press the C, nothing happens. But if I press the Shift C, it just prints out to the console the Shift C. And let me do one more example for using the modifier keys. And this will be 3 keys, so the Ctrl, Alt and the C key. So in this case we are also going to ask in the on key press event if modifiers and arcade key mod Ctrl, so if the Ctrl key is pressed, and modifiers binary AND arcade key Alt is pressed, and the symbol is arcade key C, then we are going to print the Ctrl Alt C. So these two modifier buttons and the C is pressed at the same time. So let me try it. And here if I press, for example, Ctrl C, nothing happens, Alt C, nothing happens. But if I press the Ctrl Alt C, this if condition will be evaluated to true and it will print the Ctrl Alt C, as you can see.